This is a Saturday Morning TVLog from Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. Welcome to another Saturday Morning TV Log, and this time around it's Santo Bugito, brought to us by Klasky-Csupo. Greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. This is Noel, the Big D to you. So today's Saturday Morning TV Log is going to be on another rarely remembered animated series from the 90s. The show is Santo Bugito. The series was produced by Klasky-Csupo, who of course was the studio that was already well known at the time for giving us Nickelodeon's big hit Rugrats. And then of course this was their next attempt after they had done the studio's Real Monsters, as well as the adult animated series Duckman for USA. Now then, one of the founders, Arlene Klasky, was the creator of this series. It revolved around the goings on in a fictional community of insects. The show was advertised as the first Tex-Mex cartoon. Originally premiering on CBS in September of 1995, this of course being the studio's only attempt to come to a major network and what have you, a major, you get what I'm saying, of the big networks. Now then, notable achievements of this series include a revival of the insect community genre, little of which have been seen since, well, let me see here. The 1941 anime musical comedy flick Mr. Bug Goes to Town. And this was kind of something that would come long before, just even before Disney and Pixar took us into the world of A Bug's Life, or even DreamWorks' big debut with Ants. Anyway, also as well as voice cameos from well-known performers such as Jim Belushi. It had a pretty big cast of voice actors and what have you. They included Tony Plana, William Sanderson, Henry Gibson, George Candy, Cheech Marin, and Joan Van Ark. We'll get to those voices in a little bit. Anyway, let's get into the synopsis, according to my source. Santo Bugito is set in a titular border town between Texas and Mexico, populated by various anthropomorphic insects. Carmen de la Anchez is the show's protagonist, an aunt who runs a restaurant in the town with her husband Paco. The town is populated by other insects, including two brash American flies, Clem and Bert. A hyperactive flea named Lencho, a cynical artist termite named Eton Wood, a butterfly named Rosa, and her boyfriend Miguel, who is still in his cocoon, Amelia, who is an enthusiastic damselfly, a large friend, and Ralph, a large friendly ladybug with a deep voice, and a praying mantis professor who occasionally interrupts the show to give dull educational features. Or in lectures, that's what I meant, sorry. But is usually pushed off screen by another character. Now, the show primarily deals with slice of life stories, but often with a strange insect twist. Some episodes include the town still trying to operate when Carmen is bedridden with a broken leg in the episode The Carmen Tango, Lencho trying to attract a famous Black Widow spider dancer to perform in the town, which was in the episode A Widow Goes a Long Way, and one where a mosquito lawyer named Emma Skeeto comes to town, and everyone in the town is caught up in a suing frenzy in exchange for Emma sucking the blood from each of her clients in the episode Sue, C-S-U-E. A mariachi band of ants occasionally narrate the action with music. Yeah, which this was the first time, well, a cartoon would ever actually do something like that. Of course, the short-lived Fox Kids series Zazu You had something like that as well, but that had different animals and what have you. Now, let's see. But anyway, I do remember watching this show, and I gotta say, this show was absolutely crazy and buggy. Little joke there, no pun intended. But anyway, but like I said, but this was before Disney and Pixar even delivered their second big hit film in A Bug's Life, and DreamWorks giving us Ants 3 years later in 1998. But anyway, the show only ran for one season with an overall total of 13 seasons. This could have kept going. This could have been sent to Nickelodeon to become their next big thing, since this was a year after studio had recently worked on Real Monsters, and they were already doing well with Rugrats. And of course, Klasky-Csupo would later go on to do other series for Nickelodeon later on after this, including the Rugrats spinoff, All Grown Up, as well as The Wild Thornberries and Rocket Power. Anyway, a real funny thing about Santo Bugito is they actually insert bug names after certain at the right in as nicknames or what have you, or kind of make the names spoof on the actual people who worked on this and what have you. Now, the composers for the music for this are Mark Mersbaugh, who of course also worked on Rugrats, as well as recently worked on music for a recent CBS hit, which was Pee Wee's Playhouse. And most people would remember him of the band Devo. And of course, let's see. Yes, and of course, Mark did this along with his younger brother and another co-founder of Devo, Bob Mersbaugh. Which a fun fact, if you watch closely the credits, they credit Mark Mersbaugh as Mark Mother's Bug. Can you believe that? Those pretty ghosts are hilarious. And Bruce Young Berman's another composer for this. So anyway, Santo Baguio did have a very fun set of music in my view. I think its songs are pretty good per episode, which of course involves the episode story. Now then, for our voice acting cast, we have Marabina James voicing Carmen. I will say this character's pretty good in my view. I do like her performance as this character. Voicing Paco is Tony Plana, who later went on to play Ugly Betty's dad. Yeah. As well as voice Manny in the video game Grim Fandango. Voiced this voicing a couple characters, Eton and Miguel. Yeah, doing the vocal effects for Miguel is Charlie Adler, who had recently done voice acting for shows including Brave Star, Tiny Two Adventures, and Hanna-Barbera's Paddington Bear Tune. Of course, a couple of years later, or no way, it was I think it was a year later, he would voice the titular characters of Hanna-Barbera and Cartoon Network's Cow and Chicken. Yeah, I'm gonna say he does a good job in my view. Next, voicing Amelia is Joan Van Ark, who most people would remember her for playing Valine Ewing on Knots Landing, which of course was the spinoff to TV's big hit Dallas. She had also recently voiced the titular character of the Patty Freeling's Spider Woman in 1979. So apparently, from what I've seen, yes, from the looks of it, I'd say this was her second animated series to be a part of after Spider Woman. Voicing Ralph is George Kennedy, who most people would remember him from movies like Cool Hand Luke and Airport. Oh, plus a lot of other films, too many to mention, to be honest. And lots of TV shows as well. But yeah, I knew that name sounded familiar. Voicing the character of Mothmeyer is Henry Gibson, who most people would remember him of Roy and Marin's Laugh-In's first 3 seasons. And he later went, and of course, he had recently voiced Wilbur in the original Charlotte's Web, as well as lent his voice to other cartoons, including The Biscuits and The Wuzzles. I want to say he did pretty good. Rosa is voiced by Candy Milo, who later went on to voice the Flea in Mucha Lucha, as well as lend her voice to several characters of PBS Kids, Maya and Miguel, and also to Cartoon Network's Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends and a lot of other series. Voicing the Professor is David Paymer. I think that name does sound familiar. And this was after he had gotten an Academy Award for appearing in the Billy Crystal film Mr. Saturday Night. He had recently done numerous other films and what have you. But I think I know that name. Yep, I knew it. He's been in numerous films: Airplane 2, Howard the Duck, Sea Slickers and its sequel, and Quiz Show. Yep. Voicing Clem is William Sanderson, who later went on to play, who had recently played Larry on Newhart, and later went on to appear on Deadwood and True Blood. I gotta say, Clem's a pretty funny character. Voicing Bert is Michael Stanton. Don't know much about him. And Lencho is voiced by none other than one half of Cheech and Chong themselves, Cheech Marin, who of course has done many things and what have you. He had recently lent his voice to Disney's animated films Oliver and Company and The Lion King, which of course came out a year prior. So anyway, Santo Bugito, I think it's a pretty crazy show. Sure, it might freak you out in some parts and what have you, but of the whole, I found this film to be pretty comical. Please stand by. Here's a look at a promotional photo. Here we see Paco and Carmen dancing with each other, and I can tell you the one with that there's the two flies. The one that the little hat there, the cap, is Clem, and the one in the straw hat is Bert. Now I thought I'd just show you just a few of the characters, not all of them, but it's pretty tough to find them all together and what have you. Santo Bugito, after it ended, it did get released on physical media, but unfortunately only on video cassette. The show has not been released on DVD. After its airing, the show has never been seen again since the day it aired. It last aired. It did go in for reruns. It was rerun for the rest of the 95 to 96 season. It might have been shown overseas, internationally, that is. And I think that would be it. But you're thinking, is there a way to see this show? Sure, there is. All episodes are currently available on YouTube, so it's pretty easy to find. So I think you'll have no trouble in finding them. All 13 episodes are available. I only rewatched the first 3 before I did this Saturday Morning TVLog. I was going to watch the whole series, but I wasn't really sure. But anyway, Santo Bugito, I think it's a pretty underrated show, but it has some pretty silly characters and what have you. If you really want to see a really funny show that focused on bugs before we even got films like Ants or Bug's Life, then I think you'll feel right at home. Or if you like the works of Klasky-Csupo, then you should feel right at home with Santo Bugito. Check it out. So now you know about this underrated show. So what did you think? Did you ever watch Santo Bugito? If so, let me know in the comments section below. If you like this video, consider clicking the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. You know the rest. Share my vids with your friends if you'd like as well. And stay tuned later tonight. I will be giving you an anniversary review. Of course, if you saw my recent announcement vid, something I failed to include on the schedule, you're finally going to get it. You're going to get a review of Clueless for its anniversary. So if you like this, check out my reviews for the two films I had just talked about. The upper left-hand corner is my review of Disney and Pixar's A Bug's Life. The upper right-hand corner is my review of DreamWorks' Ants. Or if you would like maybe something else from Klasky-Csupo, check out my review for one of the movies they worked on. And that would be Rugrats in Paris, the movie from 2000 in the bottom left-hand corner. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe if you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., as well as the Saturday Morning TVLog. Then I'm your guide. Thanks for watching, and next week's Saturday Morning TVLog is Savants Around the World in 80 Dreams. So until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.